Well, guys, the Buffalo Bills are 6-2, and they took it to the Kansas City Chiefs. That was a complete game, and it was awesome. What an awesome game! You can kind of tell I still kind of lost my voice here a little bit, but absolutely fantastic. What a game! What a moment! The Bills look like they're back, and we're here to talk about it. So, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast. I am Mike, joined by Mr. T. Reese and Mr. Sean O'Neill. And fellas, how are we feeling at 6-2?
Well, I didn't expect us to pull this one off, to be perfectly honest with you. But the way they went into that game, they're built to beat Kansas City. It's just that for some reason, by the time the playoffs come, you know, our defense is all over the place. We got injuries all over the place. That's usually what kills us in the playoffs against them. Is we have a bunch of injuries. But the game plan was like from front to back was great. There were some spots again where I think Brady got a little pass happy, which there's a few stops I don't think we would have had if they gave the ball to James Cook again. But outside of that, it was masterful on both sides of the ball. You work the middle of the field. That's where their weaknesses are. You can't throw to the outsides. We don't have good enough wide receivers to beat their corners. Their corners are really good. So you work the interior. You stretch out those linebackers, make them have to play the run and play the middle of the field deep. And they kind of caught on in the second half. But I think some of that had to do with some of the play calling that we did. Because I still think that, James Cook would get a yard and then they wouldn't give it to him again. They throw. I thought those were opportunities to just, let James hammer at him, eat the clock, force Kansas City to have to start burning timeouts early. And, either way, they won. So it doesn't really matter, right?
Mhm. So
Yeah,
this
yeah, that
felt
was.
like the most complete game that they've played this year, offensively and defensively. Obviously, the story, if you're Kansas City, is that the intentional grounding call cost them the game. But we all know that that's not, in fact, true. And the Bills' defense played real well, taking it to Mahomes, keeping him flustered. And can we talk about Maxwell Harrison? Holy shit, that kid looked great. What a time to get your first interception.
Yeah. And to your point on the intentional grounding thing, yeah, it made it 4th and 17, but they still converted that 4th and 17.
Exactly.
And they still got a touchdown on that drive. So that penalty did nothing.
Well, here's the
Oh,
So
kicker.
they
The part that people, I don't know if anyone has noticed, but that was probably one of the greatest play calls ever made by an offensive coach. One of the greatest play calls I've ever seen in a game especially for 4th and 17. They faked Bosa. They're thinking it was
yep.
a screen.
Mhm.
That's why Bosa stopped running. Had Bosa not stopped and kept going, he would have sacked Mahomes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But when you're going against a very good, smart defensive end. The only way to beat him is to trick him. And that play call, to fake a screen, to force him to slow down, to give your tackle enough time to drop back to get in front of him. I mean, people can say all they want that they converted to 4th and 17. That was one of the greatest play calls I've ever seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
fake Bosa out like that was incredible because even we were watching it, we were like, why the hell did Bosa just stop?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just think it's hysterical though that I was watching a bunch of different people on TikTok today, and all the Chiefs fans, that's all they were doing was complaining about that that penalty.
It didn't even. They converted it regardless.
Exactly.
You know what I
That
mean? But
that was my comment.
the tough thing is that it's not. You can't challenge that, and this is what I was questioning. I'm sitting there like, you know what's funny too? How about that Gene Serator? Doesn't know the
Oh,
freaking
God.
rules.
Doesn't know the
Yep.
rules at all. I don't
I'm
see why not. I don't see why not.
I'm sitting there saying to myself, I was like, they can't call. Why? I said they can't challenge that. I don't understand what they're challenging here. This idiot's like, oh, I think they can do that, dude. You were asleep. You were asleep. That shows you what the
Technically,
officiating's like right now, right?
technically, isn't it a penalty to try and challenge a penalty like that?
No, I think they
But
just
you
tell you
lose
to
the
pick.
timeout.
Yeah,
Is
you
it it's
lose.
losing time out?
Right, and they'll just tell you that they might just tell you to pick it up too. They'll just tell you it's not a challengeable play.
Yeah, depending on the referee, they may just say, all right, well, just going to pick up the flag and don't worry about it. But believe you can be charged a timeout.
Yeah, no, that whole game was I think the Bills, it was probably the best game they've played this season. And I think the passing game really benefited from how much they targeted the tight ends.
Yeah.
And it honestly, once they got that first touchdown, it really didn't feel like they were in any danger of losing, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, and you know what? The other thing was that defensively was probably. I thought Mahomes looked more uncomfortable in this game than he did in that Philly Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the dude was literally in a shotgun, taking the snap and then running his
Oh yeah,
drop step back and spinning around trying to find somewhere to throw the ball. That's how uneasy he was that whole night. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this is the biggest change in that defense was Hoyt.
yeah,
The man's an animal. I mean, he was out there controlling everything on that front line, telling people what to do. And once again, this team is just snake bitten on defense every year. Soon as someone starts playing good,
down. Yep.
done. Done. Remember Daquan Jones, last year or the year before? We killing it. He was like the number one defensive tackle in the year, like 2 seasons ago. What
Yep.
happens? Rip Peck. Done for the season. Came back in playoffs, was completely ineffective. Has been ineffective since then. Then you got to look at Von Miller. Ed
Got hurt.
Oliver. Now Hoyt. I mean, you're just losing guys to these season-ending injuries, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This just sucks.
So it's the one thing I will say though is it doesn't seem like these injuries are a Bills only thing. It feels like if you look around the league, there's been a lot of major injuries this year, be it season ending or long term IR injuries.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I like, is there anything you can think of that could be causing it to be so much higher this year than normal?
That they have to play the game too safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got more guys who now, when you're tackling somebody, especially, going after a wide receiver, you're going at their legs because if you go, you can't take the chance of going high because you can get called for the flag down. And quarterbacks too. They're. I mean, the more you say they can't get their legs tackled, I mean, you can't touch their heads either. So, I mean, now it's at the point where they're getting rolled up on. They're getting, the only way to get them down is to get the push the offensive line into them to even create a sack now. You can't just completely blow through a guy anymore and just smack a quarterback. Now you got to be careful how you hit them. I think a lot of it is that it's overly safe. So that the point where, like with wide receivers, they know they can't be hit a certain way, so they're kind of free with the way they run. Problem is that when the guys go to hit them, they're hitting them low.
And I think there's something to be said for the fact that there's less off-season stuff. There's less practices. There's less preseason games. There's less time these guys have to be in the facility doing strength and conditioning because of the way collective bargaining works, because of all the, the arrangements with the players league and stuff like that. So, these guys are spending a lot less time, in pads, taking hits, conditioning their body. And Teresa's point as well, with the measures that they've added to make things safer for quarterbacks and make things safer for wide receivers. Like, I don't want to say that these guys are softer, but they're just not as conditioned as players who played 10, 15 years ago were.
You you would think though that these teams would want to figure out a way to avoid this. I mean, when you're losing big name players from these teams, I mean, look at Washington losing Jaden Daniels probably for the season.
Well, hang on,
Like,
but that was Washington's fault. He should never been in the game. He should have been pulled.
no, it wasn't until late. I had stopped watching at that point. So, but my
Yeah,
point is you're losing big name players to this, and like it's one thing to lose position players. It's another thing to be losing your stars.
Mhm.
well, I mean, don't forget now, and defensively, these guys have to think about how they're going to hit somebody every single time they go to hit somebody, which doesn't give you the ability to react to a play because you have to think about how you're going to react to a play before it even happens. So
Yeah.
these guys are positioning their bodies when they're going to make tackles, and they're awkward when they tackle somebody. Tackling's terrible now because of the rules. That's why you're getting so many missed tackles now. Is that the rules have completely, you know, changed all that. You can't just go in there and run into a pile and go head to head with a running back. I mean, I'm not saying that's the best thing to do, but you don't have that ability to throw yourself in there to stop a play. So now you got to be extra careful. That's why you got so many leg injuries with offensive linemen and defensive linemen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And and I think there's something to be said for the sliding thing too with quarterbacks a little bit because you're seeing a lot of hits to the head now. And I know Allen kind of like faked one yesterday a little bit. But like one of the injury that CJ Stroud took yesterday in the Houston game, like dude got blasted in the head when he was going down for a slide, whiplash on his neck, and now he's in concussion protocol. You know what I mean? So like, and then look at what happened. I mean, I know it was his fault, but look at what happened to Trevor Lawrence last year as well, right? Like, I mean, these guys are going down for a slide and like head injury,
That
but where are you supposed to hit them, like, and it's not always, yeah, I'll get it. Some of these defensive players, like they're scumbags and they're still going to go and hit a guy when he's going down. But there are other ones where it's like you can't kind of stop yourself sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you're going at full speed at a guy and like you have to like in a split second, like leap over the guy basically
yeah.
when he's starting to slide or like go to the right or go to the left or whatever, and you can't always have your body just do that.
Well, it's
that
also, don't forget the quarterbacks have been manipulating it too, because some of them use it as act like they're going to go down and then keep running. So I've seen that
Mhm.
happen, and also the fact of some of these quarterbacks wait too late to slide. I think the rule should be that if you need to attempt your slide at least 2 yards away from the first person of contact. If they're less than 2 yards away, if you're starting to slide, it's just like a running back. You can take your shot because when you're waiting for someone to come, like you said, Mike, going full speed, and I'm waiting that half second before he comes up, and I start my slide, obviously you're going to get smacked in the head. I mean, it's going to happen. That's generally how it happens every single time. I mean, outside of some of the dirty stuff,
it's
but
I mean
most of the time it's guys trying to avoid hitting the quarterback in the head.
that Trevor Lawrence one last year, the dude was headhunting on. Like that was not Lawrence. That dude was trying to take out Lawrence. But talking about like people faking slides, it's like when Mahomes fake steps out of bounds, or Allen has done the fake slide thing. I mean, hell, that one Pittsburgh playoff game, he fake slid and then went like 60 yards for a touchdown. Like, so it's a real fine line as far as that goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Getting back to Josh Allen, though, let's kind of spin this over to the positive a little bit. So, 47 games with a passing and a rushing touchdown. Broke the record that Cam Newton held, and also 79 rushing touchdowns, which is the most for a quarterback. And I believe they said, I heard on the radio today that he is in company similar to what was it? Marshall Faulk, LaDainian Tomlinson, and I think someone else as well. Like,
I believe he jumped Jim Brown. I think it
yeah,
was.
incredible. And he's what, 29, 30?
He's going to crush
Incredible.
that record.
He's going to break every rushing record there is.
Yeah, except for yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be Lamar's, unfortunately. But, the rest of them, though. I mean, unless Lamar just, decides to stop playing football, but,
Yeah.
that is neither here nor there. But that itself is amazing. And this is also, I guess, the first time that since the game against Baltimore to open the season last year that the Chiefs have allowed a 100-yard rusher.
And
Really?
wide
Mhm.
receiver.
Yeah, that's something to say too. That's props to James Cook, and we've been screaming it from the rooftops on this channel about James Cook, and just give that man the ball. Keep feeding that man the ball.
How funny is it that all offseason, all the talk is, oh, does James Cook deserve Saquon Barkley money?
Mhm.
And if there was ever a guy who's gone out to prove that he deserved to get paid, it's James Cook. Like, and it's the more they feed him the ball, like you said earlier, T, the better off they'll be. I just wish that Brady would like commit to that, and I don't understand why he doesn't.
Well, it seems like they tightened up in that second half, like with the play calling, because the first half was completely different than the second half with the play calling. I mean, obviously we have the lead, so it's going to be somewhat different, but it just seemed like he just kind of was like, okay, well, let's try and eat clock. And that's what I felt like they were trying to do that whole second half was just eat clock. And we all know that, playing against Mahomes, you got to keep scoring. You have to keep scoring or keep the ball. I mean, you got to pick one of the two, because they're always going to be in it. I mean, no matter what, I don't care how we feel about him, like whether we can't stand Mahomes or the Chiefs or whatnot. We all know you can't leave them in it, and if you have the opportunities to step on their throats, you have to do it. And they lost some key opportunities to do that early in the game, and then the second half, I think they kind of took their foot off the gas a bit. But I mean, they pulled it out. I mean, it was masterful what they did in that 4-minute drill or whatever to eat up some clock to give him the ball back with nothing. Considering Prater missed that kick, and isn't it annoying that everyone that's playing that kick is playing that damn thump with it? I'm so tired of hearing that thump.
I mean, I don't necessarily blame him as much because he at least hit the post. It wasn't like a wide miss. I did see a lot of people talking though online about whether or not that was the smart play there to go for the field goal or to punt it away. What are your thoughts on that? Was that the right play, you think?
I think punting it probably would have been better there, but I mean, hindsight is 2020, right? But you give them you make the field goal, obviously the game is completely over. You miss it, which they did, you give them the ball at the 40, which is what they did, and it's a bit closer to the end zone, so they ended up having a couple of cracks at it, right? You never know what would have happened, but like you punt it from there, they get the ball inside of the 10-yard line with like 17 seconds left or something like that, or you can even squib it at that point too, you know what I mean? Take even more time off of the clock. So at that point, they're going to get the ball on the between the 20 and the 10 with like a few more seconds off of the clock with a punt. So punting it probably would have been the right thing, but if you're confident in your kicker, you're confident in your kicker. And
Yeah,
the
I
ball
mean,
needed to go an inch to the left. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It would have been fine.
yeah, I don't know if there's any wrong way to handle that one. Because obviously, if you kick the field goal, you go up now 2 possessions. You give them the ball back with just what 20 seconds on the clock, something like that, right? Or you go for it. I thought they were going to go for it.
Yeah.
Usually, in that situation against Kansas City, you don't want to give them any opportunity to touch that ball. As we can see in that game, they got the opportunity, and they almost had an opportunity to score again. So there's that aspect of it.
Do you think if it was less than like 4th and 7, they might have gone for it? Like if it was like 4th and 4,
Yeah,
they probably would
I
have.
think you have to. I think you have to because
Fourth
I
and
just like I
seven
said,
is too low.
I'm on the side of I don't want to give Mahomes the ball back
Right.
at all at any opportunity.
Yeah,
Because
because
you're figuring that you kick that field goal and you miss, and they're in the same spot anyway,
Right.
right? So you might as well just attempt to go for the fourth down. I mean, I know you don't know the kick's gonna miss, but I'm just saying. I mean, obviously there's an opportunity that kick will miss. It's 50 plus yards, and you got a 40-year-old kicker
Right.
with a calf injury.
Exactly.
yeah,
So I would have went for it just because of that aspect. There's too much variance with him making that kick, and I don't trust it just to give Mahomes the ball back, just to give it to him. So either way, I mean, I don't think there's a wrong answer in that one. Just my preference is I like to be aggressive. I'd have went for it on fourth down because either way, he missed the kick, so they still got it in that spot anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think you're right. Like you don't want to give Mahomes the ball back, I think, period. Like to the best of your ability. So
And I would trust my quarterback. That's my MVP quarterback. I'm going to put my faith that he's going to get the first down. Same way they took Mahomes and did 4th and 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. exactly. I was stunned that they did that. I was like legitimately stunned that they didn't just kick a field goal there. Like
Listen,
unbelievable. Like
when
to
you
your point
have
earlier,
the
what a play call.
greatest offensive mind calling plays and drawing up stuff in the dirt while as they're playing the game.
Do they not have a OC? Does Reed call all the offensive plays for
Well,
them?
Matt Nagy is the OC. You remember he used to be in KC before he went to Chicago. I think it was Chicago. And he got fired out of Chicago and he went back to KC. So Andy Reid still, I believe, calls the plays during the game.
Yeah, but just absolutely spectacular game. I mean, just running down the game a little bit, right? Like they scored no points in the first quarter, the Chiefs, no points in the third quarter, the Chiefs. I mean, what more can you say about the way the defense performed, right? I mean, and the Bills started the game, they got the ball right away, and I was initially like a little bit like, oh shit, like here we go, right? Like we don't do something here, but they went right down the field and scored, and then they got the ball right back, and stopped Kansas City, put them 3 and out on their first drive, and I was like, oh wow, here we go. And it felt like, to Sean's point earlier, it felt really good, like initially watching that game, and there were a few moments where like Kansas City made some plays and they moved. Like it did not seem like when they needed to move the ball down the field, they had like that much of a problem doing it because they were able to move the ball down the field. I mean, Hairston did look good, but the corner on the other side did not look good. So, they were throwing it. Hollywood Brown had a couple of really huge catches in that game. So, there was a bit of that, but it was great to see Hairston all over Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, I had that conversation with my son. He said the same thing you said, Mike, about the cornerback play. Here's what I would say to that. Mahomes, I think he's number one in the league of not throwing to his first read. So the plays that he got off on those to his wide receivers were long stretching plays, which means he had to have time in the pocket to throw it. And those
Mhm.
times that he was able to make those throws, there was no pass rush.
Mhm.
So he wasn't under any type of pressure or anything during those plays. And it's only so long your corners are going to be able to hold up, especially with those guys. I mean, notice that when a play lasted, when he snapped the ball and it took more than 3 seconds for him to throw, it was always 15 plus yards and completed. And that's primarily because there's no secondary in the league that can hold up on their wide receivers
They
for
are
an entire
fast.
game. For an
Very,
entire
very
game.
fast. Yeah.
But
And
I've never seen a secondary just completely contain those wide receivers. And that's what they did. They did a great job. I mean, I can't be upset at all. I mean, it was just weird watching it for me, watching the KC game where I didn't feel worried until like that into the fourth quarter
Mhm.
when they scored that next touchdown, make it 21-28. Then I got a little bit nervous. But then I still felt like that I don't feel like Josh can't do anything here. It was sitting there. I'm just like, I don't feel worried about this game. I think we're winning this no matter what happens right now.
honestly, if you watched, it looked like the most consistent play they were able to get off with us covering their our corners playing the way they were was when they were using Rice out of the slot. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Rice was open a lot coming out of the slot there, and I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't utilize that more against us.
Well, that's what I'm saying with the contain part. When they're changing up front, that front seven, the coverages, whether they're blitzing or not, that's where the holes open up for those plays to happen with Mahomes. And like I said, if you don't get to them, regardless of who you got out there on defense, those holes are going to be there. And Mahomes can see every part of the field. He's one of the few quarterbacks in the league that it doesn't like. It feels like an Eagles watching his receivers run around there. He can see everything. And nothing's ever really, this is why this game was odd for everyone, is that Mahomes is overthrowing people, underthrowing people, looking panicked in the pocket, which you've never seen him because you've really never seen him like that. This is his worst quarterbacking performance since his rookie season.
I've never
The
seen him take hits the way he took hits yesterday. That
Oh
was
yeah.
that was something else. The amount of hits that he took yesterday. There was one, I think it was AJ Epinesa, who just
Yep.
buried him going to the outside. Like I've never seen Mahomes take hits like that. And I'll admit I don't watch the Chiefs every week, so I'm sure he has gotten hit before, but I've never seen the Bills do that to him before.
Was was
15.
was that the one Epinesa buried him on the sideline?
Mm.
Hmm.
Um,
15
no,
hits he took.
Yeah.
the other big thing that helped our defense with in this game was that the offense did what they needed to and had those extended drives. Like I said, that they needed to do prior to. That's how you beat the Chiefs. You keep their offense off the damn field.
Hmm.
And the Bills' offense, even if they didn't score on every one of the drives, were able to at least have longer drives than they normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they forced KC to have to play catch up, which I'd rather that against KC than letting them have a lead. Because once they have a
Yep.
lead, it's a wrap. It's one of the few teams that I don't think you'll ever come back against is Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always want to be you want to be the front runner against them. Let them catch you, not the other way around.
Yep.
And it was absolutely spectacular at the end of the half how Kansas City went right down the field with like no, hardly any time. Got the ball down to the 2 yard line at first and goal, and we held them to a field goal. That
Yep.
was
Yep.
astounding. Absolutely astounding.
Like I said, this defense was playing. I mean, they were playing with purpose. It's just I need them to do this every week. I hate to see this during only KC week. Now
Oh,
they're showing they can do it.
Well,
Let
and
me
I
shout
think,
out, matter of fact, let me shout out somebody that we haven't even mentioned. Cole Bishop.
oh God,
yeah,
yeah, he was the best player on the
yeah,
field.
he was one of the best players on the field.
Cole Bishop. I mean, it seemed like they were just
Hmm.
like, you know what? Just play. That's what it felt like to me watching him out there was he's like he was completely free out there. And once you get to that stage, I think we're coming to a turn for him right now. Once you get in that stage, you start getting that feel of just being able to play free. That kid's athleticism is going to take him a long way. And I like what I seen yesterday. Now he's shown that he can do it against Kansas City. There's no excuse this kid shouldn't be showing up every week.
So, in that sense, question for you: what kind of confidence boost is this for them now going forward? I mean, I know they play Miami next week, which we shouldn't look past just in case, but they should curb stomp them. Like,
Well, Miami's trading people away, and they already traded one guy to Philadelphia, and they're probably going to be sending Waddle away next. So I mean, and Tua is like Tua's they might bench Tua at this point, right? They've already benched him the previous week. So I mean, Miami's in shambles. They're going to be lucky to win one or not maybe win one more game this year.
I mean, though, like, what do you is this? Are they going to be able to carry this over as, like I said, as a confidence boost to the rest of the season?
I mean,
I
you
think
got to think
so.
so.
I mean, we've seen this is again, it's the same pattern. We mentioned this before. They stumble right before the bye, come out of the bye, play Kansas City, and then they just went out almost from there. They stumble maybe one more time before the end of the season. This is generally how their season goes all the time. And dictating on how the last game of the season goes, whether we need that game or not, it's the same pattern. I mean, I think we played Kansas City at the same time last year too, didn't we? Was it like week 8 or week 9?
Yeah, it was pretty close to it. I mean, I think the only difference here, I think, which might answer your question a little bit more, because there's really no answer to your question, but I think it's the level of competition that they're going to be playing, right? Like Miami and the Jets, whatever, right? Like they'll beat those teams. But, you've got a match against Tampa in a couple of weeks here. You've got a match against Pittsburgh in a couple of weeks here. Then you've got a match against the Eagles a little bit later in the season. And you've got probably the most important game against the Patriots in about a month and a half. Like that game against the Patriots, the way the Patriots are looking, I mean, we'll go around the league in a little bit here. But I mean, you and I talked about this or the other day, Sean, when we did our preview of this game. I think that like if you don't take away the Bills game, I think the Patriots have maybe 2 games left on their schedule where they're not going to be favored. And then
Yeah,
one of them is this week when they play Tampa. Like go Baker, like take them down, right? I mean, Tampa's coming off a bye this week. It's in Tampa. Like Tampa needs to beat the Patriots this week. We need that to happen.
Keep
Yeah,
in mind too, the Patriots almost lost yesterday.
just
Like,
Atlanta just fell apart.
yeah.
Yeah.
So all these Glazers of the Patriots, like there was Damian Harris was talking on TikTok, on some sporting show about how the Patriots came in and put belt to ass against the Bills, and it's like they won by 3 points. Like Drake May didn't come out and like look like John Elway against the Bills. He had 0 touchdowns. Like the amount of like I don't know what the word I'm looking for is here, but like the way that people are trying to act like the Patriots, like it's the dynasty starting all over again, absolutely blows my mind.
If you take away the Bills win, the amount of wins that the Patriots have beat is, I think, less than five. So, like I don't pay much attention. They beat Tennessee, the Jets, and Miami. Like, I mean, whatever. Their only good win was against us. They almost blew it to Atlanta yesterday.
That was
Atlanta,
bull. If we had we didn't have such bad play calling, we probably would have beat them.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go around the league and look at the scores that were? Anything else you want to mention, or while we head up to Miami next weekend?
Well, this is another game. We got to win it. It's another divisional game and conference game. At this point, going forward, we got to win all the AFC games,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
last one for the rest of the season. We have to win them, and we just got to hope this Patriots stumble up. I'm hoping they stop. I'm thinking they're going to stumble.
Yeah.
I do
I'm
too.
thinking they're going to lose to a team they weren't expecting. Look at the Panthers yesterday.
Or I was gonna say,
We're going
look
to
at
talk about that.
look at you know what? Let's start there. Look at the Colts yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The
I called it.
almighty Indianapolis Colts. 6 turnovers yesterday. Daniel Jones looked like Daniel Jones who played for the New York Giants yesterday.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen Pittsburgh's defense not be good this year. Like we have seen the Jets put up what 38 points on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. So, you know what I mean? Like I don't think Pittsburgh's defense is all that vaunted and they smoked them. That game was never close. Indianapolis got a garbage time score at the end, but I mean, Pittsburgh blew them off the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you when we were watching it when I picked Pittsburgh to win. I said that Pittsburgh has just adequate enough of a defense that they can cause problems for Daniel Jones if he reverts at all. And we had to know that at some point here, Jones was going to revert. Like he's not as much as I like to joke about him being the comeback player of the year, he's still Daniel Jones. I'm sorry. And there's no way that he could have kept up the consistent pace that he was showing.
No, I am looking at Indy's schedule too. They got a lot of hard games coming up, and Indy's going to drop some games. Like, in a couple weeks they're playing the Chiefs, and then I think they've got a game against Denver, and a handful of other. I think they play Baltimore too. So Indy's going to lose some games.
Well, I mean, they have to. They have to lose some games. I mean, the thing is with them is, once you remove their ability to run the ball, they're just a mediocre offense. I mean, it's given. I mean, everything's Jonathan Taylor. You remove him from the equation, that offense is inept. I mean, outside of Pittman, what other receiver on their team would you want?
Yeah. I don't even know who else they have, to be honest with you.
I mean, they got that Pierce kid, I think his name is.
Oh yeah.
He's like a Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, they got that tight end. I mean, they're throwing their offensive weapons as far as the passing game are not scary to anybody. It's just Jonathan Taylor. And
Yeah.
Pittsburgh said, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to let you run.
Yeah.
We're not going to let you run the ball.
And honestly, this is around the time of the season where Jonathan Taylor usually gets hurt, since he's usually injury prone about halfway through the season. Hopefully he doesn't get himself hurt, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happened at some point here, especially if they keep pounding him as much as they are.
Yeah.
And there's truth to that. When you run a guy, I mean, I know we've been talking about that with James Cook, but there's truth to that. I mean, back in the day, these guys, these running backs like the Thurman Thomases and stuff like that. I mean, they had their backup running backs, but they were always the running back from first quarter to the fourth quarter, unless they were injured in the game. So, I mean, those guys, their knees are bad. Bad. I mean, they're bad. So a lot of those guys, they have a hard time walking now, using canes. I mean, don't forget they used to have painkillers back in the 80s and 90s just to get on the field. So that's another reason why you're probably seeing a lot more injuries, that they've removed all of that ability to do that in the NFL right now. So you can't just go get shot up with some experimental painkiller before you go into a game, or just get doped up on a bunch of codeine, after the game to get rid of the pain. You can't do any of that no more.
Yeah. Speaking of things that were painful to watch, you mentioned Carolina and Green Bay. Woof.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina Green Bay was a 13-point favorite going into that game, and they didn't even score the 13.5 points to cover the spread, losing 16-13 over Carolina. Unbelievable. People, you want to talk about teams that are getting glazed, that needs to stop. The Green Bay Packers. Everyone in sports media needs to stop glazing the Green Bay Packers, because they are not a good football team. They're not. Jordan Love is so overrated. Come at me, Packers fans. I want to hear it. Like, come at me. And now Tucker Kraft is tore his ACL, who was by far their best receiver. Golden, I think, separated his shoulder. The Packers are done. I don't even think the Packers are going to make the postseason.
Which, considering the Packers actually have a decent defense, the fact that everybody rates them as high as they do when Jordan Love isn't a consistent quarterback. The guy is something about Green Bay and gunslinger quarterbacks. But from Favre to Rodgers to Jordan Love now. You just have these guys that can be wildly inconsistent.
Well, I never was sold on Love as the guy for Green Bay. I mean, at this present time, he's the guy, but I just think that they probably could do a lot better than him. It's never stood out to me. Even the eye test, I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
Here's a couple of nice deep throws, but there's nothing that I've ever seen with him consistently to say that he could just take a team into a championship.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. Then on to there were two games that shocked me, but for two different reasons. The one that shocked me the most was Minnesota and Detroit. Detroit coming off of a bye, turning the ball over and just losing to Minnesota. I mean, McCarthy looked good. He didn't look great, but he looked good. I think the bigger story here is how bad Detroit looked, and not even so how great Minnesota looked. Because I think we watched Minnesota 2 weeks ago, and they barely beat, or they almost blew it to Cincinnati, didn't they? 2 weeks ago. And I mean, we'll talk about Cincinnati in a minute, but I mean, Minnesota is another one of those teams that is wildly inconsistent, but they just took it to one of the better teams in the NFC and completely outplayed them.
You have to give Minnesota's defense credit in that game. Minnesota's defense came to play. They were pressuring Goff all game. They had him on. If you watched Goff, he did not have much time to get that ball off. And that is 100%. Their win is 100% a result of how good the defense played there. Because, like you said, McCarthy is okay. I mean, it was definitely a boost to their offense having him back versus, I don't remember who was playing, Carson Wentz. But I think it's 100% the defense that won him that game.
I mean, isn't that McCarthy's only his fourth game?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like his fourth game. Oh, I mean, like I said, I mean, the jury's still out on him. I mean, he hasn't really played enough football for us to even get enough of a sample size to know what he could be or what his ceiling is going to be. But, I mean, you're right. Detroit at home.
Off a bye.
Yep. What happened?
Yeah.
I mean, I was shocked. I'm looking at this. I'm like, is anybody on offense in Detroit? I mean, did they get a bunch of injuries? Even their defense seemed like they didn't really have too much in them. I mean, they were just completely dominated from the first to the fourth quarter in their own stadium. I,
Yeah.
I I'd be. I mean, I tell you right now, if I was one of those players, Campbell was probably crying his eyes out up that tail tunnel, just crying like a baby.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Speaking of players calling out their teammates, let's go over to Chicago and Cincinnati because boy, oh boy, did everybody on offense have something to say about everybody on defense in Cincinnati. That is Jamar Chase and Chase Brown specifically, who said, and I quote, just make one fucking stop, end quote, because they literally said that to reporters. And I mean, are they wrong?
No, not at
Like,
all.
like I can't. I honestly wish like we would have got that game, like so
Yeah.
we could have like watched just the onslaught that was that game. But in the fourth quarter, to start the fourth quarter of that game, the score was 34 Chicago, 27 Cincinnati. And then it went touchdown, 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 touchdown. Like, and the final score was 47-42. And Chicago got the ball back with like 30 seconds left and no timeouts and scored a touchdown in like 2 plays. And like, dude, you got to give props to old man Flacco. Like, holy smokes, dude. He is looking like he did when he played for Baltimore like 15 years ago. Unbelievable. I mean, I suppose you could probably put like me in the backfield of Cincinnati with those weapons, and I'd be able to, lead them to 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. But like, holy God, dude! Like, I don't even think like they'd be better just not even fielding a defense. I feel like when the Bills are going to play them in a few weeks, and I think there's going to be 100 points scored in that game.
It was like somebody was playing Madden, but they were only controlling the offense there. And honestly,
Seriously.
both teams don't play with the defense for either team. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure both you and I picked the under for that game, and that was pretty much destroyed.
Both teams hit the over on their own.
Yeah. I just and they're not wrong. The receiver Chase and Higgins both had every right to say that because you got to be frustrated when you put up that many points to still lose. You know what I mean? Like when you have such a humongous offensive outburst and then just to shit the bed.
I saw a stat that said they were the only team in NFL history to score 38 2 times in a season and lose.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Flacco had what, like 45 fantasy points, something stupid like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm surprised that they're even able to just throw the ball like they are, even with those receivers, considering their offensive line isn't even that good.
No.
I mean, they're not a very, I mean, outside of their talented spots at their receiver and quarterback spot, outside of that, I mean, other than Trey Hendrickson, there's nothing else there. Nothing. I just can't figure out how come teams can't stop their offense. They only throw to 2 people.
I mean, Chase Brown is a pretty good running back, though.
Yeah. He's been terrible this year.
No, you're right. I mean, I think that's right of him. But yeah, no, you're right. He hasn't been great this year. But I mean, I think Higgins could be a number 1 on just about any other team.
Oh yeah, but you're about to see that offense get dismantled after this year.
They're going to have to do something because they need to bring in defensive players.
Yeah, they're going to have to let go of Higgins. They stop with the franchise, and this is like what 3 or 4 years in a row they've been franchised this guy.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, honestly, Chase is going to want to leave.
Well, he's a running back. I don't think they really care about the running back.
No. Jamar Chase.
Oh, Jamar Chase. I don't know. Him and Burrow are like real tight. I don't know.
Hell, if I'm Joe Burrow, I kind of want out.
No, I don't think he'd leave either. He knows that his injuries are the reason why he can't win.
Yeah, but he's getting hurt. He's not
anyway, it's because of him. And it's not his field.
Dude, like the thing is though, even if Burrow was there yesterday, they still probably scored those 40 points and they still probably lost.
Well, not even. I'm just saying, just in general, the entire time he's been their quarterback, The reason why they cannot win anything or even win a Super Bowl is because of him. And it's not his play on the field. It's the fact that he has too much play off the field. He's never around.
Yeah, well, when you have an offensive line,
he's always injured.
He has no offensive line to protect him, though. Like that, they need to invest in an O line for him.
He has turf toe.
Yeah, I mean, Burrow is another one of these guys that's just he's been snake bit with injuries, and it's going to plague him for the rest of his career.
Right? Am I right? He has turf toe.
I think that I think that's what the injury is.
I think that's what they classified it as. I know it was something with his foot.
Yeah.
What is? I don't even know what the hell turf toe actually is.
It's hard to explain, but when they used to play, when they played on turf, like I played on turf before, it was the word.
It's
that was my
basically
worst experience of playing football was on a turf field at Rich Stadium.
Yeah.
it's basically a sprain to your big toe,
Mm-hmm.
and it's next to impossible to heal because you have to use your feet to walk. And like it creates inflammation on your foot to walk on it. So you would literally have to like wrap your foot and not walk on it for an extended period of time. And it's one of those things where it's just about pain management because it never really heals properly.
Well, whatever Burrows was, it was serious enough for him to require surgery.
It was very common in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
They used to play on that turf. And that's how you would sprain your toes is digging your foot into that turf.
Okay.
And they don't forget they didn't have all the technology and the sneakers they have today. This was just leather and cleat. I mean, there was no protection. So you bang your foot or you stop on a dime and your foot shifts. That sock moves a little bit and that toe gets sprung a little, gets smashed forward or back.
Yep.
Turf toe immediately. Nothing you can do.
Yep.
But that's my point. Yes, turf toe, right? That has nothing to do with him even being in the quarterback pocket getting hit. Yes, turf toe.
Yeah. Moving on, Denver squeaked out a win over Houston in one of the worst games of football that I'm glad I didn't get to watch because it was pretty much the field goal bowl, 18-15. Denver's one of these teams, like another one, like they just keep finding ways. They just keep finding ways to win. And I think, they're going to run into some good teams in their division too, because they've got to play the Chargers and they've got to play the Chiefs. And I know Denver is 7-2 right now and technically the number one seed. But they're going to drop some games too, I think.
Well, you know who they are, right?
They're a defense.
No, they're the Pittsburgh 2.0.
Yeah. Like I've been saying this whole season, if Denver could find a way to have a consistent offense, they'd be a legitimately scary team. But because they're such a generic offense, they're not scary on that side of the ball.
No, I mean the same thing with Pittsburgh. It's the exact same model. Denver went with the same model as Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think Denver is like if you ask me right now to pick the top 5 teams in the league, I would put Denver in the top 5. Not in the top 10. I mean, within the top 5 of the top 10. Not in the top 3, but probably like 4 or 5.
Put them maybe 5 or 6. I'd have to think about it. But I don't know. Like I said, my problem is I don't trust Denver down the road to be able to, once they run into some legitimately good teams like the Chargers or the Chiefs, to be able to win these games.
I think they're better than the Chargers. Honestly, I think there's 3 teams in this league that are better than Denver. 3. The Bills, the Chiefs, and probably the best team in the league, the Los Angeles Rams. And maybe the Eagles because they're making moves.
Man,
I think the Rams are the best team in football right now.
This is debatable. A lot of this I like this. This is a good topic.
Yeah, we can.
I mean, across the league, I wouldn't put Denver at 5.
5 or 6. I think sounds about right.
They'd be in the top 10. I wouldn't put them at 5.
I can't think of anybody. I think they're the third best team in the AFC. I think the Patriots are fourth. I think the Colts are fifth. Chargers are six. I think the Bills and the Chiefs are one and two, depending on where you want to look at it.
Mhm.
And then you go Denver, then you go New England, then you go Indy, then you go Chargers, I think. But then in the NFC, you go Rams, Eagles.
I mean, you can't leave out Detroit outside them having that game yesterday.
They've had a couple of bad games though. I would put Detroit three.
So, but
I
so
think
did we.
The Rams and the Eagles are better than Detroit, and then Seattle.
Keep overlooking Seattle there, guys.
I think Seattle's great too. I
Yeah,
think
but
Seattle.
we've had slip ups, and so has KC this year. I mean, I know we're kind of going based off of history, but as of right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think anyone's the number one team in the leagues right now. I don't think anyone's blowing anybody out the window.
No,
Everyone's having ups.
I don't think anyone's blowing anybody out. But if you were to ask me right now, point blank, who is the best team in the league, I would say it's the Rams.
What's
Mm.
their record?
7-2.
What's Seattle's record?
7-2. So 6-3. Seattle's very good. Seattle's a very good football team, but I think that the quarterback play is only going to get you so far with Seattle. Seattle's got a great defense. They've got great weapons, but I think the quarterback play, because we saw what the quarterback play did in the playoffs last year for Minnesota. Look at how great Minnesota was in the
Oh, yeah.
regular season last year with Darnold, and they went out in the first round.
Yeah.
And they've got just as good of weapons. Like, I mean, Jefferson and Addison, Minnesota's running game last year was the exact same thing that Seattle had. Great defense, and they got blown out in the first round of the playoffs. I think the same thing is going to happen to Seattle. I'd love to be proven wrong,
What do
but
you think about that, Sean?
I can't really argue it because it's with Darnold there. I mean, if Darnold can just play consistently, I think that they have the chance to go further. But I don't know. Based on what happened last year, you're right with Minnesota. He had a great regular season, then he just completely flopped in the playoffs. I think Seattle's defense is strong enough to carry them to at least a wild card win, but I don't know that I trust Darnold to get them past that,
yeah.
just
I
based
mean,
on history.
yeah, I mean, we already actually talked about the Patriots game. We said they won. The 49ers beat the Giants. Nobody cares. The Rams beat the Saints, as I
I
mentioned.
care.
Yeah,
I
and
care.
then Jacksonville in a crazy game against the Raiders, which was like 6-6 going the third quarter, somehow ended up 30-29. But yeah, I did want to get into this quickly with you guys because we kind of did talk about it. But like, who is in your top five or your top 10 right now of teams in the league?
Give me 2 minutes to think.
2 minutes.
Yep.
I mean,
I just gotta look at all the teams. And
I
by
mean,
the way, the way that the Giants are going with all their injuries and everything, they're going to be starting Zohan Mamdani in the backfield by the time that they're ready to go.
I mean, I do say I think the Rams are one. I think the Bills are two. I think the Chiefs are three. I would probably say Denver, or I would probably say Philly is four. Denver is five. Detroit is six. Seattle is probably seven. New England is probably eight. And then Indy is probably nine. Chargers are 10. That's probably how I would round it out. I think if the reason I put the Patriots so low is because I think if the Patriots played any of those teams, the Chargers, the Broncos, the Rams, the Bills again, the Chiefs, I think if the Patriots lose. And we've seen it with the Bills. I think the Bills can beat anybody if they they play the way that they should, they played yesterday. The Bills can beat anybody.
My
Yeah,
five.
I mean, obviously, I put the Bills up there in the top five. I mean, you can't sleep on Kansas City. That's two. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, Philly, I think is better than Denver.
Mhm.
Tampa Bay, I think, is better than Denver.
I forgot
The
about them.
Rams are better than Denver. No, they're not even in the top five. They are not even of those five teams there alone. They're not better than.
I don't know if Denver. I think I find
If you
Tampa
can
and Denver
toss
to
in
be about
Detroit,
even.
possibly Detroit. Did I even mention KC?
Yeah, you did.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're definitely in the top 10. I don't know about the top five. So I think anybody in that top five would beat them.
Yeah.
So I think that I have nine. I'd have the Rams at one, Buffalo at two, Detroit at three, Seattle at four, Philly at five, Tampa at six, Denver and Indy interchangeable at seven and eight, and then Kansas City at nine.
Mm.
You think the Patriots are better than the Chiefs?
Uh, I don't have no New England wasn't on my list there.
I thought you said Kansas. Oh, you said Indy. You think Indy and Denver are better than Kansas City?
Right now, yes.
Interesting.
Until I can see uh, Kansas City do get start to get wins over actually good teams, then yes. But as of right now, the teams that Kansas City have beaten, other than getting the refs help against Detroit, the teams that KC have beaten are garbage. They beat the
Yeah, that's
Giants, they beat Washington, they beat Baltimore with Lamar giving up on the team. Like they they haven't beaten a good team because I don't count the Detroit game because the Detroit game was bullshit. And
I,
if ever there was a reason to investigate the NFL like the NBA was investigated, it would be for that Detroit Kansas City game.
and I know we've been going for a while here, and I'll wrap it up in a minute here. But I did want to ask Reese one more question. Is Baltimore going to find their way back into the postseason here?
Probably.
You think so?
Yeah, they're deep. The division's falling apart. Literally, the
Even
only
though
team they got to get ahead of is Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh got themselves a nice win yesterday, though. Do you think that do you think Baltimore will be able to catch them?
Yeah, I think they're going to catch them. I mean, don't forget Pittsburgh has to play. They still got to play Cleveland again, which they might take a loss to.
Who's Pittsburgh
Um,
catching
they
look
still got to
like?
play Baltimore again.
Let's see.
So I mean, or
Yeah.
not Baltimore. Uh, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh and them got to play again. So I mean, you got and they're playing a playoff schedule still. They still got a few tough teams on their list.
They've got the Chargers,
Mm-hmm.
Bengals, Bears, Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, Lions, Browns, Ravens. Yeah, you're right. The Steelers, they've got a lot of potential losses on their schedule.
You're probably looking at, in my opinion, probably four.
Yeah.
Who does Baltimore have?
You know, Baltimore's got to play, I think they still have to play the Bengals twice.
Yep.
I think that I mean, what's to say that Lamar's not going to give up on him again? I mean, we've already seen him do it once this year. They have another bad game. What's to prevent another uh, suspicious hamstring injury?
No, I
I
don't think
mean,
it matters because I mean I still think Pittsburgh's going to lose four. So I mean they have an opportunity to lose one more game.
I just, I don't know if Baltimore is going to win out. I mean, Baltimore's got a real tough one against Minnesota, but
Yeah.
then you're right. Then they play the Browns, the Jets, Bengals twice, the Steelers, Patriots. I mean, that'll be a big one. We're probably going to be rooting for Baltimore there. Then they've got the frauds. I mean, the Packers, and then the Steelers again. So, I mean, they don't close out the season easy. I think Baltimore's going to drop one or two. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying. They have it with if Pittsburgh loses four, they have a room to lose what two games and they can make the playoffs and possibly win the
well,
division
I
because
mean,
their matchup against each other is what would decide the division.
that's what it's going to hinge on is
but
their matchup.
yeah, Baltimore's only path to the playoffs, I think, is winning the division.
Mm.
Like they don't get in as a wild card because I think the wild card teams, like one of the wild card teams is going to be either the Bills or the Patriots at like 12 wins, which Baltimore can't even do mathematically at this point. Then another one is going to be either Denver or the Chargers or even the Chiefs or two of those teams, right? I mean, let's not, I mean, I would love to live in a world where Kansas City and Baltimore don't make the playoffs, but I mean, we got to be a little bit realistic here. Like, Kansas City is probably going to make the playoffs. They're probably going to win 11, 12 games, and they've got the head to head over Baltimore. And the Chargers will probably make it as well. They've got a relatively soft schedule. So those are your three wild card teams there. So the Ravens only get in by winning the division.
Let's leave with this one last question for you too.
I have one too.
Who has the higher percentage of not making the playoffs, in your opinion, between Kansas City and Baltimore right now?
I have a similar question for both of you as well.
What's left of the season?
You mean, so which team do I think is less likely to make the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore.
I'd agree. My question
100%.
My question for the two of you is, which team would you rather see not make it?
Kansas City.
Yeah?
Baltimore.
Kansas City.
Baltimore.
Because, I mean, if Kansas City is making it as a wild card and has to be on the road for the whole playoffs, I think I would agree with T. I would almost rather Baltimore didn't make it.
Listen, we can only press our luck against Baltimore as many times as we've had, dude. And I don't care what's happened in the past. They're a team they have our – if they weren't screw-ups in the end of every game, we probably would never have beaten them because they have the key ingredient to beat the Bills, and that's running the ball. And they do it effectively, and they do it a lot.
Well, I'll tell you, we might live in a world where both of those teams don't make the playoffs this year. So you know what? Keep rooting for the Steelers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm rooting for the Steelers.
So that has been our show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have some more content for you guys out this week. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. We appreciate all of your comments. We read and respond to every one of them. And with that, have yourselves a fantastic evening and take care.